Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new explainer. Today we're going on an absolutely incredible journey into the unseen world of animal biology to look at nature's three amazing sensory tools. We are going to be looking at biological hardware that frankly puts our very best human engineering to shame. So get ready because the way you view the animal kingdom is about to fundamentally change.
All right, let's start with a bit of a mystery. I want you to picture a massive forest fire. Sirens are wailing, helicopters are chopping through the thick smoke, and human emergency response teams are gearing up, deploying their absolute best tracking equipment to reach the blaze. But what if I told you someone else is already there? Someone who actually beat them to the site before the very first fire truck even left the station.
Well, believe it or not, it's a tiny insect. As Dr. Helmut Schmitz from the University of Bonn points out, ask any forest firefighter, they will tell you the jewel beetle always gets there before them. It sounds like absolute science fiction, doesn't it? A tiny bug consistently beating our fastest, most well-equipped rapid response teams.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The bug before the firefighter.
So, how exactly does this tiny creature outpace human emergency crews and literally bypass the need for advanced satellite tracking or expensive thermal imaging cameras? Well, the secret lies in its built-in biological tech. You see, the jewel beetle comes equipped with specialized infrared sensors. But they aren't just generic heat detectors. They are precisely tuned to detect the exact infrared wavelengths emitted by forest fires from miles and miles away. For the beetle, finding a freshly burned tree is absolutely essential for survival. It's where they lay their eggs. So nature has basically given it the ultimate, highly specialized fire-detecting radar to solve that exact survival problem.
Which brings us to Section 2, nature's three amazing sensors.
The really fascinating part here is that the jewel beetle, it's not a one-off anomaly. The source material outlines three distinct, amazing sensory toolkits found in nature, starting with Toolkit 1, thermal and infrared sensors. We just saw how the jewel beetle uses them to track forest fires across massive distances, but let's look at another master of the invisible heat spectrum. Just look at this staggering number, 0.003 degrees Celsius. That is literally the exact microscopic temperature difference a rattlesnake can detect. Using specialized infrared sensors located right on its face, it can sense the minute heat signature of a tiny mouse in pitch black darkness. It is an absolute game changer that makes it a lethal nocturnal predator.
Moving right along to Toolkit 2, electromagnetic and chemical trackers. We're now stepping into a world where animals navigate using spectrums and signals that are completely invisible to us.
Take the platypus, for example. Its bill is loaded with thousands of electroreceptors, allowing it to detect incredibly weak electrical signals from prey hidden deep in muddy riverbeds. Or think about the incredible chemical tracking abilities of dogs. Their noses are so next level, they can actually be trained to smell early-stage cancer in human breath or urine. These animals are perceiving a vibrant, loud world of electricity and chemical signatures that we humans are 100% blind to.
And this brilliantly illustrates why we need to move to Toolkit 3, Advanced Optics. If you thought the chemical and thermal sensors were impressive, wait until you see what nature does with eyesight.
Let's put this into perspective. 1.5 kilometers. Imagine standing that far away and trying to perfectly spot something the size of a teacup. Well, a hawk can spot an object as small as 10 centimeters from 1.5 kilometers away up in the sky. That is a level of high-definition zoom our standard cameras can only dream of matching.
And then you've got the dragonfly. While human vision is rigidly limited to a really narrow band of visible light, the dragonfly sees ultraviolet light, polarized light, and tracks motion at hyper-fast speeds far beyond what the human brain can process. Compared to our eyesight, their visual world is infinitely richer, faster, and far more detailed.
All right, let's slow things down just a bit for Section 3, from lobster eye to space telescope.
We're going to do a deep dive case study from the text that takes us from the bottom of the ocean floor all the way into outer space. The eye of a lobster is utterly unique. It isn't made of curved lenses like ours. Instead, it's composed of millions of microscopic square prisms. These prisms act like tiny mirrors, working perfectly together to reflect and focus light flawlessly at a single point behind the eye. When researchers Mike Land from the University of Sussex and Klaus Vogt from the University of Freiburg first discovered this biological architecture, they were absolutely astonished. I mean, it's literally nature using advanced geometry to see in the pitch-dark ocean depths.
So, how did we go from an ocean bug to a space satellite? Here's the chronological journey of how human engineering directly copied this biological marvel. First, biologists mapped out this brilliant prism system. Then, Professor Roger Angel at the University of Arizona looks at it and realizes, hey, this is the exact concept needed for a telescope. This led scientists at Leicester University to spend years developing a specialized X-ray telescope based exactly on the lobster's eye. And the result? This biomimicry tech is part of the SVOM satellite, planned for launch in 2024.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this direct one-to-one comparison, a biological crustacean on one side and cutting-edge satellite engineering on the other. It really cements a stunning realization. The lobster has been utilizing literal space-age technology in its everyday life, navigating the ocean long before human beings even existed to discover it. Which takes us to Section 4, Human Limits and Nature's Perfection.
So, where does that actually leave us? When we pivot the narrative and compare human abilities to this vast animal kingdom, the contrast is incredibly stark. Infrared vision, humans get an X. Ultraviolet vision, X. Detecting a 0.003 degree temperature difference? Yeah, another X. The source text makes a powerful point here about human helplessness. By ourselves, we are blind to so much of reality. Yet, every single animal is equipped with the exact, perfect sensor it needs to survive. Every environment requires a different sensor, and every animal has its customized solution.
And that leads us to Section 5. Who gave this technology?
This brings us to the philosophical climax of our source material, and it prompts us to take an objective step back and ask a much bigger question. Did these highly customized, perfectly adapted sensors just form on their own? How is it that a lobster possessed the exact geometric architecture required for X-ray telescope technology long before human invention even conceived of it? The text really prompts the reader to wonder who, exactly, placed that infrared sensor inside the tiny jewel beetle so it could detect fires from miles away.
The author of the source material reaches a specific teleological conclusion here. The text views these biological adaptations not as mere accidents of nature or random chance, but as deliberate placements. The argument presented in the source is that the sheer perfection and specific customization of these biological designs point directly to an intelligent creator, one who equipped every single creature with exactly what it needs for its specific reality.
The explainer text actually concludes with a reflective verse from the Quran. Do you not see that to Allah prostrates whoever is in the heavens and whoever is on the earth? The author focuses on that phrase, do you not see, pointing out that while our human eyes are limited, the lobster sees, the hawk sees, the dragonfly sees, each is looking through a different window at the exact same creation. And it leaves us with a profound thought. The next time you step outside, what other brilliant unseen wonders are being witnessed right beside you by the animal kingdom, completely hidden from your view? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and stay curious.